Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for February 2025. You have this card, it says, a time to give rather than take, and also this card that says, confidence is your key to success. And I would definitely say that's true. So I would be focusing on confidence, or I would be focusing on being more confident. You even have the 5 Wands, and then we go to the 6 Wands. Like the 5 Wands is the battle. The story of the 6 Wands is that he is returning home from battle, and he is now being celebrated for his victory. So it's like you have been through a battle for a very long period of time, Sagittarius, which I definitely think is true. And now you are coming out on top, or you're kind of coming out of the battle and into a victory. Here we go. Right here. I was literally about to say victory, and you get the Chariot, which is the card of a victory or a success. So this is looking pretty decent. You have the 5 Wands. Sure, we'll take all 3. The High Priestess and the 6 Wands. So again, I think the 5 Wands is talking about the difficult lessons that you've had to learn over the years. I really look at the 5 Wands as a card of learning lessons because these people, they are using sticks to fight. So they are learning how to fight. And but they are using sticks. They're not using swords. So it's really a card of learning how to battle. And I think that is what has been going on in your life for a long time, Sagittarius. And I just think you've been through it. But the good news with the 5 Wands is that it is a card of learning. So you've probably learned a lot. You have the High Priestess here. Now, this is probably why we have that card that says confidence is your key to success. The High Priestess can represent, all the typical High Priestess stuff like trusting your intuition, diving into secrets so you can learn more. She's also a card of visualization as well. She has these 3 stages of the moon on her crown, and it represents the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of everything that she enters into before she enters into it. But she's almost like visualizing her future. But it's also a card of unlimited potential. She has no roof over her head, and so with the High Priestess, the more we believe in ourselves, the more we can accomplish with the High Priestess, because again, she is the card of unlimited potential. The only thing that can prevent her from moving forward is herself. And she needs to realize that. So I feel that confidence is the key to your success is definitely true. The more you can develop your confidence, the better. And again, I highly recommend starting with small steps. I had to do it years ago. I don't care if that means like putting your shoes on in the morning and that's a small step for you, then you should pat yourself on the back for that. No shame here, especially. I am a big fan of supporting people who, no matter how small the step is, at least they're taking it, right? And those small steps compound over time, and that's a great way to build confidence. You have the 6 Wands. I also think that there could be something happening for you that builds your confidence, because the 6 of Wands is a victory or a success, and he is being celebrated by the people around him for the success that he is having. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be getting recognition for success or for something you're doing, and that could be this could be like a boost to your confidence that's coming in, which would be great. Again, small steps plus a boost of confidence here and there will definitely boost your confidence even more. So I would do both. Let's see. With the 5 of Wands, you have the 5 of Wands. Basically the universe saying, I meant what I said. You've been going through it. You've been experiencing challenges. But I think what's important to remember, sorry, wrong camera. What's important to remember with the 5 of Wands is the lessons that you learned. And we need to make sure that we're applying those lessons moving forward. If we do that, then we haven't lost. If we don't apply what we learned, then we have lost. With the High Priestess, you have the 8 of Cups. I get this feeling of no longer settling here. I'm not really getting like traditional 8 of Cups energy. It's giving me more of this feeling of you saying to yourself like, no, I'm going to reach my full potential, or, I deserve better than what I've been experiencing. I feel pretty good about this. Again, it feels very confident to me, Sagittarius. It's like you're saying like, no, I'm not going to settle for these small little things. I'm going for my dreams, or I'm going for this big goal, or I'm going to go get this thing I want in life, and I'm going to make it happen. So I feel good about this. Again, it feels very confident, like I said, to me. So that's good. With the Six of Wands, you have the Three of Cups, which you have twice. Surrounding yourself with important people or the right people is going to be very important for you, Sagittarius. Now, we've definitely talked about this before, but based off your astrology, there's no doubt about it that Sagittarius has learned difficult lessons surrounding people and people disappointing you. So I think that is kind of the thing that you have to release, is that everybody disappoints you, because that's not true. I have plenty of people in my life that have never disappointed me, that always come through. So those people exist. You just have to find them. And I think what's important here is that you look at the lessons you learned with those people, because I find that people who disappoint you, they give signs. They show that they are they basically tell us that they're going to disappoint us in the future without telling us. So I think you have learned how to pick the right people. The other thing about Three Cups is it's three people. It's very concentrated energy. It's, focusing on those really quality connections. It's not about having hundreds of people surrounding you. It's like three people, right? So I feel that a lot of you going this way, to have some big victories, you need to make sure that you're focusing on those concentrated connections. I'm pretty sure that we talked about this in your last reading. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Taurus card. It says perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Those small improvements that we were talking about. It says, awaken your inner bull to give you patience. You have this unlocking solutions card. It says, through compromise, you will create the successful outcome you are hoping for. There you go. So definitely a successful outcome through not giving up. I think you need to compromise with yourself. I think you need to say, small steps are still steps. I don't need to make these huge leaps to get to something, right? There is no rush, even though it might feel like there is a rush. I feel this is saying, compromise with yourself. Be willing to say that any step is good enough. You have the Six of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Six of Swords, of course, is a card of moving on to calmer shores, so definitely some improvements coming in for you here. I feel like you're heading towards improvements with the Six of Swords. I just get general kind of improvement energy here. You also have two sixes. I'm a big fan of two sixes coming up in a reading, because two sixes is kind of like confirmation for your path. It says that you're going in the right direction. You have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is like a celebration. These three ladies are celebrating this harvest that's going on around them. So I feel like you need to find those people who are really happy for you when you do accomplish something. Believe it or not, most of the time, people are not happy for our accomplishments, right? Because if they're not accomplishing anything, then it kind of reflects poorly on them. So I think you need to focus on where people are coming from. I always say there are two places people can come from: love and fear, right? So fear is people who tell you, don't do this, don't do that. People who have negative reactions to your successes. That is fear. Love is the people that support you and say, go do this, go do that. How can I help? This is a great idea, blah, 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 right? And so I think you need to pay attention to that, to those types of energies with the Three of Cups, and surround yourself with the right people. And these people might be dead, by the way, because, again, there are plenty. I have mentors that are dead on YouTube where I still watch their videos, right? Where I still learn from them. It's I can't physically be with them, but I can still learn from those people. So sometimes, we have to surround ourselves with people, even if they're not really truly in our lives. And, that is perfectly acceptable as well. You have the Four of Pentacles. So we have a tiny bit of stuck energy right here. Four of Pentacles and Eight of Swords. Not really a big deal. Eight of Swords is just about realizing that there are many ways to do anything that you're trying to accomplish. So we just have to stay flexible with both of these cards, really, the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. But again, I'm not too worried about it. You have the World. The World says you're opening up to the world. With the Six of Swords, you have the Nine of Cups, which is fulfillment. Nine of Cups is about focusing on things that make you feel fulfillment, and that's exactly what I would do here. I would also make a wish, because you have the Magician to the world, and this could be you manifesting a wish on Earth, or literally getting something that you wish for, which is great. With the Three of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. Boundaries with people, right? The Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior, but he isn't giving up. You have this card that says Perseverance on it, the Taurus card that you got at the beginning of this row. And the Nine of Wands is a card of perseverance. So I definitely feel this is saying don't give up. I also feel like it's saying don't give up on people. It's yes, a lot of people will disappoint us in life. That's the whole point of life. But really, I feel when you find those really good, solid connections with the people who support your journey, then, those are the connections you always remember. Those are the connections you never let go of. So I feel that a lot of you are definitely learning a lot, or have learned a lot about people. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says don't rush. Sometimes I think when we're stuck, we will just do anything to get unstuck. Knight of Swords says don't just do anything, right? It's like sometimes people get stuck in their life. They make crazy decisions to get unstuck. And I feel like this is saying like, take your time. There's no rush. I really feel like saying that in your reading for some reason, Sagittarius. Like I really feel like saying there's no rush in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or do in your life. And I would just like, take your time, make progress, move forward. Everything will be fine. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Poised card, which I love, in this Unfinished Symphony card. This Poised card says that you are being lifted up. This lady here, she's kind of like being lifted up on a pedestal, and she's being supported, and so I feel there's a lot of good support coming in for you. The Unfinished Symphony card says that your story is not over. I actually feel with the Chariot that there is something that you've been trying to accomplish, and you could really be accomplishing it now. Or, maybe in the past you felt like, I kind of get this feeling that you felt like something is over. And I'm not talking about a relationship. It's like something that you wanted to accomplish. And I feel this is saying like, no, Unfinished Symphony, you are not done with this part of your story. You are going to finish something with the Chariot. The Chariot is about seeing something through to the end. The Chariot is also a card of momentum. So usually as we start the journey with the Chariot, things get faster and faster and faster. But again, we have to take those small steps and those compounding actions like I was talking about earlier. And that's what I would suggest with the Chariot. Pretty much everyone gets the Chariot nowadays. I think it's because of Pluto and Aquarius. Chariot has nothing to do with Aquarius, but what I would say is, Pluto and Aquarius, we have to set ourselves apart. Yes, Pluto and Aquarius is a collective. That does not mean we should become part of the collective, as in, that does not mean we should become some sort of hive mind where everybody does the same thing, right? So the Chariot is about setting yourself apart, and I think that's an important part of the astrology right now, is that we should be focusing on what makes us unique. We should be, looking for other ways of accomplishing goals and things like that, because it's a very innovative time. And, the Chariot is kind of innovative. You have the Magician, which could be Aquarius. The Magician is about reinventing yourself. He has a snake wrapped around his waist here, and the snake is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. I think it's an amazing time to reinvent yourself. Now, one thing I will say is we will have Venus going retrograde. So Venus retrograde is not a good time to make changes to your physical appearance, right? So if, I would be careful of making any changes to yourself as we get closer to the Venus retrograde. But for the most part, I feel like you are reinventing yourself in some way. I also feel you are clearly manifesting like a wish on Earth, again, going this way. I would make some sort of wish. Obviously you're going to have to take action to manifest the wish, but, looks pretty good. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction and needing to set yourself free. So with the Eight of Swords, we are, usually we are only looking at one way of doing things when there are many. So we have to stay flexible, and we have to open up to other solutions with the Eight of Swords to find success. Like I said, I'm not too worried about this because you have the World right next to it. The World in the good stuff really suggests that you are opening up to the world. So you are, when we open up to the world, we open up to other possibilities, and because of that, you're, probably setting yourself free. With the Chariot, you have the Two of Swords, like should I, shouldn't I type of energy going on here. So I feel like you should, complete something with that Chariot card, especially if you're thinking about like, that goal that you didn't finish, or if you're thinking about, starting that thing that you wanted to start. I feel this is saying, yes, you should do it. The Two of Swords also says there's another way to do things. She is thinking this or that, but she has this new island behind her here. And that new island represents a third place, or, I always say this is my card of third place solutions, or finding another way of doing things. So I would stay open to other ways of doing things. With the Magician, you have the Queen of Swords here. Queen of Swords is about clarity. She only has clouds halfway up her body on the card. And so the story of the card is that she's seeing things clearly for the first time. She's also kind of like cautiously optimistic. She has that sword up, but her hand out. So she is willing to receive with her hand out. But if something doesn't come correct, then she will chop its head off. And again, I feel with all this stuff about your connections, meaning all the relationships, we're not just talking about love, which we do have here, but I feel like you are being more, it's like you are seeing things more clearly in your connections. I also feel that, of course, there could be a new love connection that is coming in for you, and you might be kind of like cautiously optimistic. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Sun, which is great. You know, the Sun is illumination. The Sun is enlightenment. And the Sun is a very good card. So you could be being enlightened to a way of overcoming the Eight of Swords, or you could be setting yourself free from the Eight of Swords with the Sun. But the Sun is great, you know, a very good card of attention. I always tell people to pay attention to their attention with the Sun, because sometimes the Sun, it's not like a subtle energy, but it can come across as subtle. We can just have an inspiration or an idea that pops into our head that we can't stop thinking about, and that is like the Sun. The Sun is trying to get your attention on something that inspires you or excites you or would bring joy into your life. So if there's something you're thinking about in life, I would do it. It's probably the Sun. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have 3 cards here. You have this card, it says Nourish. We'll start here. You have this Nourish card. I would definitely nourish yourself and take care of yourself at this time. You also have this Manifest and Gratitude card. I feel you can probably easily manifest with the Magician by practicing gratitude. So I would manifest through gratitude with these cards. And I would also, with the Nourish card, I would also nurture the things that you care about. The more we take care of the things that we care about, the more likely we are to attract like better things, right? So that's what I would do there. You have the Nine of Wands, the Two of Cups, and the World. Nine of Wands says don't give up, which definitely kind of shows up here. You have the Nine of Wands twice in this reading. And so the Nine of Wands says keep pushing. It's coming up in the good stuff, which would tell me that you are not going to give up on something that you're working on. Nine of Wands is also my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So that's definitely popping into my head in your reading. You have the Nine of Wands to the Magician. Wrong. It wasn't working, but right here. So this, to me, is very much like experimentation energy. I feel it would be an amazing time for you to try new things and to experiment and like see what sticks. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups can be a perfect match. Now, I definitely feel you're connecting with fewer people as well. Like, let's look at this outside of love. I feel that you are making connections, but probably with fewer people. But again, I would say that's a very good thing because the quality of the connections that you're making is increasing. So I think that, yeah, maybe you're surrounding yourself with less people, but they're much higher quality. The Two of Cups can, of course, be love. So I think if you want love, you could be attracting it with the Magician there, and you could just be attracting a new connection. The Two of Cups is also you and your higher self, so it represents communication. We have the Staff of Hermes right in between these two people, and the Staff of Hermes, of course, is communication. So you could be communicating with new people here, and I feel that would be good. You have the World. The World is an accomplishment. I definitely feel that there could be a big accomplishment coming in for you, especially if you're finishing a goal. Remember, confidence is the key to your success, so you're going to have to be confident. It's interesting that you have that card that says unlocking solutions as well. I totally ignored the 2 keys that are showing up on this card. So, you definitely have the key to success, and the World is like accomplishing some sort of goal or completing a cycle. And, that's the other thing I'm getting here as well, is you could be completing a negative cycle. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it to work on the things that you're working on, or is there a better way of doing things? The Seven of Pentacles to me always says that there might be a better way or a better place to put your energy. He has put all his energy into growing these 7 pentacles, and he has gotten a result, but he has dreams of bigger and better results. And I feel that, you are probably going to be making a change in the way that you work to get a better result, which is good. With the Two of Cups, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, definitely could be a very bold, assertive, confident person who's coming in for you. It could be another fire sign. If it's not another fire sign, it's probably a person who has fire, like an important place in their chart. So definitely could be a strong connection. With the World, you have the Page of Swords. Sorry, I'm just going to go through all the Swords cards, apparently. But you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is about opening up to curiosity, especially in the good stuff. We have to be willing to be curious to find success. And so I would, anything that captures your attention with the Sun is something that I would be paying attention to here. You have this career card. Yeah, I do. A lot of your readings have been about career changes, career improvements. I feel that there is an opportunity for you to improve your career or however you make money. But it's probably going to be through some sort of change with the Seven of Pentacles. So that's what I would do there. You have this November card, and you also have this 4-leaf clover. It says great good fortune on it. And so maybe since your fortunes have changed since November. I know because I said it, and I had a bunch of Sagittarius people telling me how miserable their lives are. So number one, change your story. If you keep talking about how miserable your life is, your life is going to continue to be miserable. You are just telling the story of what has already happened. Start telling the new story. But I think since that time, your fortunes have changed, whether you realize it or not. You have to work with the energy to get the result. You have this older man card. It says dealings or relationships with an older man. And you also have the Spirit card. It says heartache over what you no longer have. Yeah, it's like something is history. It's like something is, something is over. It doesn't even have to be a person. I think heartbreak can happen in any area of life, but I think that there's something old that did leave your life, and you're just like moving on to bigger and better things. You have this table that says hard work ahead. I feel if there is any hard work you're doing, that it's paying off. It's like, I really feel in 2025 that the people who are going to work hard, they're doing it for a reason. Like it's actually producing a result. So, that's good. You have this barrel. It says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. I like this card because sometimes I feel like when we feel like something is lacking, we fill the gap and we actually, improve whatever it is. And so I feel like you are. But this looks really good, Sag. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.